What is up, everyone? Welcome into another live stream. And for this one, I'm going to be going through all of the states, giving an updated, realistic, hopefully realistic prediction on the 2024 election, and just kind of doing it periodically, looking at the chat, things like that. And I did hear about the assassination news, reports of a bombshell coming out. Yeah, I'm guessing it's some type of collusion with Crooks and somebody that was probably liberal or foreign. It's one of those two. But there's no way. I mean, that to have that just horrible security situation. But yeah, I'll just be going through this, and this will probably go to about 10:45-ish, an hour and a half stream. I want to start making sure people know, just kind of giving people an idea. Maybe it'll go till 10:45, maybe 11. It just depends. You're fascinating to talk to. I think most people remember. I think most people think of rape as violent. Really? I think it's sexy. We're gonna take a break. You're fascinating to talk to. Oh man. Do you think the ABC whistleblower is legit? Well, what we do know, and somebody said this earlier in chat before I even started streaming, we know that they were biased. So whether or not it's legit, we know that they did. I mean, I kind of find it hard to believe that it would be that level of collusion, honestly. Because the apparently, according to the whistleblower, it's like, well, they knew and they told and they said that you are to not fact check Kamala, but you need to fact check Trump, and they told Kamala. That seems a bit ridiculous. It seems like that's too good to be true, honestly. Whistleblower rumor is true. Well, don't they still have to come out with proof? Yeah, I'll do a best case scenario after I do my main prediction. Let me actually do, because listen, if people watch back this stream, they're going to want to watch at the beginning. They're actually going to want to see my prediction. So let me actually do this. And this is a realistic prediction, I would say, at this point. And I'll just go through this pretty quickly. Really, I should have had all these states already done. But, I mean, Texas, I don't even think liberals argue Texas at this point. Maybe in a few years, maybe 2028 they will. But obviously all of these states. For New Mexico, I would give it to Harris. I would give Harris New Mexico, right? I don't think you can give Trump New Mexico based on polling. But Harris takes Colorado as well. You could lighten it slightly. I don't know why I didn't have Idaho filled in there. That's funny. We'll leave the swing states like I always do. We'll leave the swing states alone. Ohio, Florida, definitely going to Trump. I don't think there's any arguments there. Illinois going to Harris. I don't think there's any arguments there. I would say you could argue New Hampshire's a swing state. I just can't give it to Trump right now. Really, I can't give any of these states to Trump based off of polling. We do have Nebraska at large going to Trump. The first district going to Trump. Maine at large, I would give it to Harris right now. I know some people would disagree with that. The second district I would give to Harris. The first district's kind of a swing state, although you could say it's leaning to Trump. And I believe we are down to North Carolina, or excuse me, New York also going to Harris. So this is kind of what it would be at this point. Definitely, I would say Minnesota is another state you'd have to give to Harris right now. But other than that, these are probably the big swing states, 218 to 212. At this point, Arizona and Nevada, I'm not really going to split them up yet. I'm still going to give both of them to Trump. I don't see any reason not to at this point, according to polls. I think both Nevada and Arizona, the polls are going to be relatively the same throughout the entire cycle, and it's just going to come down to liberals probably think they're going to win, conservatives probably think they're going to win, and we'll see what happens on election night. But Nevada's been trending ever so slightly to the right. So I do think Trump takes that. Arizona, I think he probably wins it by a bigger margin than Nevada. It might be by about 1.5 to 2 points. Nevada's probably going to be like 1 point to 1.5 points. Georgia, I think Trump takes back. It's going to be very close, but maybe about 2 points. North Carolina, Trump keeps. Virginia, at this point, I do have to give to Harris. I think it's going to be a surprisingly close margin by maybe 3 or 4 points. Minnesota will probably still be 5 or 6. Then you've got the Rust Belt. At this point, I'm giving Trump all of the Rust Belts. I know you could argue maybe Michigan, but even Michigan, there's been some positive polling when you look at it. If you did want to say, well, you're being too biased to Trump, you could give Harris Michigan. Doesn't really bother me. And then that one district in Maine, I would say possibly going to Trump, although you could just give it to Harris because I know Harris led a poll there recently. And then you do also have the district in Nebraska. I would say just give it to Harris. The Democrats want it. It would be something like this, but honestly, I would also include that. So I would have Trump around 311. You could argue 312 if you gave him the one district in Maine. So that would be my basic analysis on it when it comes to the election. The second district is Trump. I always get that wrong. Did you hear about Trump's no tax on overtime? Yeah, I just heard that came out today. Watch Harris steal it too. Yeah, Trump is having a lot of these very nice publicity policies, if you want to say that, with all these no taxes, no tax on tip, no tax on overtime. Why is North Carolina tilts? I mean, you want me to shade it the same color as Georgia? That's fine. Leading report got exposed for what? If Trump loses, it's going to be pretty bad if Trump loses, man. Virginia is red. Trend is going to the right. Crazy strong nonstop. Well, look, it's hard for me to predict Virginia red right now, but I do think it's going to be very close. I think the closer we get to the election night is when I can start predicting it red. I mean, I could predict it red, but will they rig Pennsylvania? I mean, how do I know that? I think it's going to be a lot harder to rig with everything going on. All the poll watchers, the new act they're trying to pass. It's going to be a lot harder because people are ready for it now. Virginia is going to be the most surprising state in the election going red. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, for the sake of the argument, if Virginia goes red, the math is just so much easier for Trump because Trump can lose Michigan. He could, I think, lose all the Rust Belt in this scenario and still win with 281. I mean, that's why Virginia is so important. He's still well over the 270 needed. I mean, technically 269. Do I think the affidavit will do anything? It's hard to say. I don't know. It could be a nothing burger. Do you think 9/11 was a controlled demolition? No, I think the planes took the towers down, personally. I would rather live in the United States, honestly. I do get jealous of Canada and their weather in the summer. I just hate really hot weather. The United States, pretty much everywhere outside of Alaska, is hot. You can't really find a place unless you go into the mountains. So I do get jealous of like really far, like Yellowknife, the Northern Territories. But I mean, dude, look, Canada. I just wouldn't want to, I wouldn't want to deal with the currency and everything like that. Republicans need to stop talking. I mean, the 2020 election is what it is. I think it's, yeah, I believe Trump got the strategy to say he's moving forward and not talking about it, but they want to talk about it because it's a bad look for Republicans. Will the Dems kick off World War III soon if Harris starts tanking? Well, I mean, it's impossible to say. I mean, I just don't know what their plan is for Ukraine. I guess their plan is to just keep funding Ukraine until infinity and hope maybe Russia gives up. I guess. How close is Pennsylvania? It's going to be very close. There's no doubt about it. Trump gets 269, the current House or next House breaks. I think the current House would. So Trump would win. Could lose Arizona. Yeah. Then you're getting razor thin margins, but you are right. Harris received a significant post-debate pump poll. I didn't see that poll. If that is true, I didn't see that. What was the pollster by chance? San Francisco has good weather all year. I don't know. San Francisco is actually like in the 50s in the summer. That is the one area because it's so close to the water. I've been to San Francisco, but dude, it's just the cost of living in San Francisco. I would never live in a city like that anyways, but the cost of living is horrible as well. It's hot in Canada. Yeah, in the South, I'm sure it is hot. I mean, the South of Canada is right next to North Dakota, and it borders it, so I can understand the South being hot, but the North of Canada is really not hot. Conservatives been destroying the Liberals in Canada. Well, when is that election? When is the Trudeau election? Are you not worried about North Carolina? I'd be more worried about Georgia than North Carolina. Will you stream on an election night? Yep. Why is Pennsylvania marked blue? Oh, this is just hypotheticals now. I should have left it up, but it's not my prediction. This is just a hypothetical scenario on if Trump can win Virginia, how many states can he lose to still get to, 270? Great summers, all for winters. Yeah, you can't live up there in the winter. It's unlivable. It's in the negatives constantly. The problem with certain places like Greenland, for example, there's no grass that grows there. It's like it's hard to live in places where there's no grass. It was an ABC poll. Yeah, ABC's been a mess. I didn't see any debate polls, honestly. It's hard to really say there's legit debate polls because normally it takes multiple days to sample a poll, and your first day would be yesterday, and then it takes like another day to release it. So it'd be maybe on Friday, maybe tomorrow, or over the weekend. We'll get good debate polls, post debate polls, I should say. Just you don't want Justin Trudeau, the new Democratic Party, just ended their coalition with them in an early election. Should be coming soon. The Conservatives should win. Yeah, I heard the Conservatives were trending well in Canada. That's pretty interesting. Imagine if Conservatives like take over Canada and then Kamala wins, and then we're the Liberals now. It's an interesting dynamic. There have been some great things that yeah, I saw some stuff that was happening in Georgia, but it seems just like it was citizens that were doing it. Bloomberg really, yeah, Bloomberg has been horrible this entire cycle. Yeah, but thank a union member. There's no best case for Harris. I mean, a best case scenario for Harris. I mean, if I do this, then people are gonna be like, "What are you doing?" That keep coming to the stream. But I mean, a best case for Harris. I don't think there's really any way Ohio or Florida can go. I think best case for her, she'd take Georgia just because the polls are very close. She'd take Nevada. She'd take North Carolina. She'd take Virginia. That's probably about as good as you can get it for her. And then the Maine as well. That would be her best case. I think my realistic Trump best case is 347. So it's very rare to have, especially with the way we've seen polling math, Trump to have a better best case, or the Republican to have a better best case than the Democrat. And I don't necessarily think it's bias. It's just the fact that Republicans control Florida and Ohio now. That's 47 electoral votes. You don't have to worry about it. Makes it easier. Biden with the Trump hat. Yeah, that was funny, man. Actually, I think let me try and get back to this. Did you watch her rally today? It's literally just the same thing every time. It's that. Yeah, I mean, that is politics, though. But yeah, her rallies are horrible. I mean, she's not cut out for this. I think we all know. Why is Virginia red? I'm just playing around with different scenarios. North Carolina is not a swing state. Oof. I mean, I'd love to believe that. I think the polls say that you have to treat it as a swing state, but I do think Trump's going to win it. Why did they take your live down last night? It was because I was reacting to a video. I think it's ridiculous. I don't know how that's possible. There's so many YouTubers that react to videos and they upload them of just them in the corner reacting. I guess I wasn't talking enough. I mean, I barely react to videos anyways. Pac-12 rebuild video. Dude, you know what? I think that's so stupid. Nothing against the Pac-12, but like the idea that, the Pac-12, they're not the Pac-12. They're the Mountain West. They're going to take all Mountain West teams. When you've got if they get to 10 teams and 8 of them are from the Mountain West, how can we call it the Pac-12? It's just the Mountain West with 2 bad Pac-12 teams. And I don't have anything against the Pac-12, but it's like they're acting like the Pac-12 rebuilt itself. Yeah, if they would have taken Power 4 teams, they would have rebuilt themselves. That's not what this is. They're taking group of 5 teams. What does the purple and green mean? Well, those are candidates. What are you going to disrespect Jill Stein, the OG? I think Jill takes Colorado. Did they beg Taylor Swift to endorse Kamala? Yeah, that was real bad. You saw that with the Chat GPT? That was horrible. She 100%. Well, that's a strategy that's been used for years where if you don't sell it out, when it comes to those arenas, because college basketball teams will do it as well, they'll bring the curtains down to hide the empty seats. That's not even just a political thing. When I saw that, I was like, yeah, that reminds me. That's exactly what happens with basketball and things like that. They need to add North Dakota State. I agree. If they added North Dakota State and South Dakota State, I would be in. I would be in. Yeah, they demonetize those videos because YouTube or advertisers don't want to pay for graphic content, I guess. Those two pollsters, I don't know if they did. They're very liberal. Remember, we just got a poll, a very important poll from the New York Times that had Trump up. But even if they dropped those polls, there's no way they were after. There's no way they were after the debate. Darkstein takes Vermont and Michigan out of nowhere. The green, yeah, the green just sticks out like a sore thumb. Love your videos. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, the Taylor Swift endorsement was planned, but it was a failure because nobody even, it's irrelevant. Greetings from my fellow ginger. We get discriminated against, it's sad. Talk about the October surprise with Kamala being installed as president. Well, we don't know if that's going to happen or not. But it might happen, and it might give them some, I guess, publicity, although I don't really know what it really does, honestly. It's kind of ridiculous. Bro, my friend is getting on my nerves. He is 16 and still scared of your dog. Your friend, well, what breed is your dog? Your friend's 16 and he's afraid of your dog? Who should host the next debate? I don't think there's going to be another debate. There's not going to be another debate. Who is the best pollster? I mean, you could actually, I could find that out if you go to Real Clear Politics. They have a grading thing. I would not trust 538's grades, but technically, I know New York Times is rated as an A+, but I don't trust that. Vegas just got 4 Trump mailers against Kamala. USA. Huh. Nice. That's Nevada. That's 4 nice votes. Left when Biden said he was doing 9/11. Yeah, I mean, but that's just an old person thing. You could understand. He meant he was doing an event about 9/11. But yeah, you know he's old, and it didn't come out right. Maryland, well then I didn't know. I thought your dog would have been a pit bull or something if he's afraid of it. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. There's not going to be another debate. I can pretty much guarantee it. Did you see Trump's Truth Social post? Can Vivek Ramaswamy be the next Republican leader? I mean, there's so much that's yet to happen to say something like that because Vance is still kind of in the way in terms of that. Trump best case. Well, actually, I did fill out a Trump best case today, but a Trump best case would, I think I got Trump to 347. Really, I could only get Trump to 347 if you go absolute best case. Like, you could say New Hampshire. That's Trump at 340. You go Maine at large. Yeah, and then it would be New Mexico. I don't see it happening, but Trump doing a rally in Los Angeles, that's bullshit. Come on. Why is Kari Lake such a bad candidate? Well, I think it's just she's been defined as like more of a radical by the media and she can't shake it. And so, I mean, her polls are constantly worse than Trump in terms of performance by a lot, too. I think Trump's going to have to win by about 4 in Arizona, and she could win it. If Trump wins by 4, she's going to win Arizona, but Trump would have to win by more than we think. If he wins by like 2.5, it's going to be very hard for her to win. She might be able to eke out a victory. But it looks like Arizona's not going to happen for Kari Lake. Thoughts on Trump's new policy today? Yeah, someone just mentioned it. I did just see it, that it was announced. Trump's doing a good thing going after, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. I mean, it's good publicity. And it's new stuff, too. It's not regurgitated stuff. That's the other thing. So it feels fresh. Oregon is surprisingly only like Kamala plus 5. You got to be careful with those polls. There's very limited polls. It wouldn't surprise me if on election night she won Oregon by like 15 or 16. It's just with very limited polling like that. I mean, if we got constant polls from there, then I'd be like, wow, that's interesting. But show us your fantasy team. I don't have a fantasy team actually. What's up with Trump not wanting to do a second debate with Harris? I did talk about that in one of my videos. It was because Trump got ganged up on, and listen, Trump's already done 2 very liberal debates. He got ganged up on in that, and he said, well, I won. I mean, whether or not you want to believe he won, but he just doesn't want to do another one. Guys, I wish Trump did another debate because I like it for live streams. I'm not going to lie, right? I do like it for live streams, but it is what it is. Subscriber from London, I can see with the euro, yes. That's nice. That's like $5 and maybe 50 cents actually, with the euros being more expensive. But why is Colorado a red state when you'd expect it to be blue? You mean the opposite? It is blue. So are you saying why is it a blue state when you'd expect it to be red? I necessarily would not expect Colorado to be red based on all the weed and the big, like Denver. It doesn't really surprise me that Colorado, even though you think, oh, mountains, like you think conservative, lots of land, but they have big cities, Boulder, Denver. It doesn't shock me. Yeah, I know what you meant, Bobby. It doesn't necessarily, I mean, it's not crazy liberal either. The one that shocks me is Arizona. I've always thought of Arizona. I mean, they have Phoenix, the Glendale, but I've always thought Arizona should be like a Republican state by like 7 or 8 points. Like, it's surprising. I mean, I guess you could say the same thing with Ohio, but Ohio now is conservative. I mean, states do change over time. What is worst case scenario for Trump? I just did it. I had Harris at 320 electoral votes. It was basically her winning every swing state, obviously Minnesota, Virginia, all of the Rust Belt, Georgia, North Carolina, New Mexico, Nevada, Arizona, all of them, and she gets to 320. It's funny Harris is scared to debate Trump on Fox News. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how much the network has a bearing on the debate preferences and things like that. I don't live in Texas, but Texas turning blue scares me. Trump really needs to win Texas by like 6 or 7 at least, and I think he will, but there is a trend in Texas that's not great going on right now, where you're seeing, if you look at 2012, 2016, 2020, it's shrinking. And I mean, some of that is people legit moving from California to Texas because Texas, I mean, Austin, Texas is very liberal. So they get that, but they get less taxes. Check the Dolphins, Bills. I mean, this is a political stream, but I would like to see someone give me an update on that game. If they Trump just tagged Kerry Border Lake happened today at Tuscan Rally. She needs to win. Yeah, I don't think she's going to win, honestly. Is New Jersey where I'm in New Jersey where I'm at? Not a single Harris sign, Trump paraphernalia everywhere, yet still blue. Yeah, have been to JC in Newark and nowhere being unanimously blue, more likely to be purple or pink. Yeah, unfortunately, that's anecdotal. I understand what you say, but you have to remember, like, Biden, like, think about Biden's rallies that he had where there'd be 10 people, or they do these car rallies where there's 10 cars and it's just, and then he gets the most votes ever. So unfortunately, when it comes to like signs and stuff like that, it's really not much of an indicator. Man, the Bills with 24 points in the first half, that's pretty crazy. James Cook, 3 touchdowns. With Elon being the Doge, he'll cut all that government fat. Yeah, well, JD Vance talked about it today. I saw in a clip because they were like, "Are you going to do what Elon did with X, where they cut like 80% of the workers there, and they're going to cut some workers out of the government?" What do you think about election fraud and ballot rigging with the swing states? Well, look, I think it's going to be harder to do because everyone's going to be ready for it and watching. I mean, but the problem is you've got things like the SAVE Act and them not wanting to pass it. Well, why wouldn't you want to pass that? We still really don't have an explanation for why they don't want to pass that, other than, oh, they want certain people that shouldn't be voting to vote. What about Georgia? I mean, Georgia's going to be close, but remember, Trump barely lost Georgia, and that was with the massive movement of mail-in ballots in that state and ballot harvesting that they had in Georgia, and Trump lost barely, and he was winning that state like until 4 days after the election, and then it finally flipped. I personally think Harris wins Pennsylvania. I mean, Pennsylvania will be close, but there's a lot of really good data out of Pennsylvania. But again, I mean, it's good data, but I still think maybe Trump by about a point and a half, 2 points. It's not going to be an easy thing. There's no doubt about that. Dude, you got to stop with XRP, man. We got to stop. Yeah, I did see Waltz had a rally today. Oh my god. I'm going to have to see what was up with that after I get off of here. Why did Republicans wait so late to do this? It's actually, I'll be honest, it's actually good timing because it forces them on the spot. This is a good political maneuver. It forces them to admit. You think he wins Georgia by more than North Carolina? Well, I mean, at this point, we're talking about very slim margins, and North Carolina was only a 1.3 point victory for Trump in 2020. So I can understand what. I mean, so what? He wins Georgia by 2 and North Carolina by 1.5. I could buy that. The internet polling is still, well, it depends what internet polls you're talking about. I mean, there are a lot of people that still trust, like, I mean, you put an X poll, I mean, Trump basically wins it every time. It's pretty funny, but it's obviously not legitimate. What will the October surprise be? Well, they don't have an October surprise on Trump because if they did, they would have used it in 2020. So just think about that. There was no October surprise, but they're going to make something up probably with an AI fake voice of Trump. That would be my guess. But with Harris, there's going to be a boatload of stuff dating back to her past relationships, along with the way she treats her team and the amount of people she's fired. It's a smorgasbord. What would it take for California to go red? It would have to be. It's just not. It's just not. It would have to take at least probably like three more election cycles at least, probably more. I think New York would be the big one you would talk about because like the surrounding areas of New York City are starting to go more to the right, and that's when the Republicans really gain in a state like New York. You get the surrounding areas to go to the right. How funny would it be if Trump wins Minnesota? Nobody saw him winning the Rust Belt in 2016, so it's pop. Yeah, no, it is possible. I mean, he's only down by like 4 or 5. He's made up that polling error before. Are you going to go live for the election? Yeah, on election night, I'll be live. I don't know exactly when I'll be live. I don't really want to do 2 streams, so I think I'll be live probably around. Well, listen, I'll do a stream in the morning on election day. It'll probably be at like 9 or 10 a.m. And then I'll do my official stream at probably 5 o'clock. And then stream until, I would guess, probably 3 a.m. when they call it for Trump. They'll probably call it at 2:30. We knew that Trump beat Hillary by like, honestly, like 2 a.m. Eastern time, I think. Maybe even earlier. It was pretty early. And now with some of these results, like Florida, we're going to get the Trump victory really early. I think North Carolina's another state that's going to get called. The way they count votes is good. The problem is just the Rust Belt, the way those states count votes, it's a big issue, especially Pennsylvania. Been in Los Angeles a little over a year, and I've had 2 chaotic converters and my tailgate stolen. Cadillac converters. Well, listen. LA's a total cesspool. You know, people go to LA just to film something and they get stuff stolen out of the back of their car while they're filming something, and they just park their car for like 20 minutes. It's happened multiple times to YouTubers, and they do videos about it. It's real bad. I do think the election will be decided on election night. Yes. Maybe that's just me being naive. I mean, I did think this debate was going to be fair, and look at what happened. So I don't know, but I do think the election will be decided at least more soon than it was. There's no way it takes as long as it did in 2020. There's no way. It's impossible because 2020 was their COVID excuse. There's going to be less mail-in ballots there, and also there's got to be better counting initiatives, and also I think Trump's going to win by enough to where it gets called earlier anyways. Maybe Pennsylvania, it takes 2 days, but Trump already should have the victory to where Pennsylvania won't matter, you know what I'm saying? I love your positive outlook that Trump is definitely going to win. Well, yeah, I mean, I can understand why other people don't have that. They don't want to get dunked on after the election. But it doesn't really matter, honestly. Like, who cares? I don't think the race is even close, even after the debate draw. Yeah, I don't think it's very close either. I think Trump's going to win. I mean, this is obviously a best case scenario. You know, you would have to do something like this. I mean, that's probably most realistic, honestly. 312. I mean, New Mexico would be a little bit darker, maybe. Colorado, maybe a little bit darker. Dude, I haven't had pasta in a while. Holy crap. God, I haven't had angel hair. No, I really don't like it. Well, angel hair is like the classic. What do you think any solid blue or solid red state could shout? I would say solid blue. For Harris, it would be hard to say. Now, I mean, the only solid blue, I mean, they'll say Florida. There's just no way. There's zero chance Florida's going to flip based on voter registration. It's absurd. Then liberals would say Texas. I just don't see it either. I just don't see any solid blue states that Trump's going to lose. Honestly, I just cannot imagine it. It just seems so unlikely. Harris, it seems, I mean, you want to call Minnesota solid red states. If you want to call Minnesota a solid blue state, then maybe that's one that would be most likely, or Virginia. 53-47 right now, Trump. 53-47 in terms of like percentage chance to win. I mean, that's very close. Colorado is probably going solid blue. Yeah, I agree. I think Colorado's going blue. Probably by like 12, 13. Maybe 10. Will CBS... Oh, CBS is doing okay, I didn't know who was doing the VP debate. I thought it was CBS or CNN. Will they be biased? Well, I mean, it doesn't necessarily matter a ton because honestly, the VP debate, I'm happy for the VP debate. You know, it's a fun thing. I'm sure we all like it, but there's going to be just a fraction of the people watching it. We know that. A lot of just casual people are not going to care about it. No tax on overtime, too big to rig. Yes, that's another good policy for Trump. He implements these smaller policies, and it's good. I mean, his strategists are doing well with the policies, at least. You could argue that the campaign schedule has been a little iffy, though. Could Maryland flip? I don't think so, man. Recipes for park duck. Oh, God. You don't eat the neighborhood ducks. You don't eat the neighborhood ducks. You don't eat the swans. The swans are beautiful creatures. The problem with Trump is he's not anywhere near as funny. I think that's nostalgia, man. I'll be honest with you. I think you have nostalgia. That's a lot of your influencing a lot of your opinion there. New Hampshire went red in 2016. I don't know, honestly. I mean, it is only 4 electoral votes, but I don't think it's going to go red in 2024. Do you think the media will come out with some polls soon showing Kamala up from the debate? I mean, I think that somebody was already saying there was a poll that had her up by 5, but I don't think people really. Maybe they'll do a slight bump for her. I mean, CNN released such a bullshit article, dude. I was just searching like debate, and they were like, "Oh, she won every debate poll." That's total bullshit. I mean, there was a very reputable poll that had Trump up winning the debate by 11 points. Listen to Piers Morgan's chat with RFK Jr. on his opinions on how Trump. Yeah, sometimes I do listen to those YouTube videos. I'll have to look at that one. Which state will surprise us the most? I'd say Virginia. It will be another 2 a.m. landslide for Kamala or a month-long countdown of truck. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a 2 a.m. landslide for Harris. Can they call for a recount if they lose it? Yeah, I mean, I think they're legally allowed to do that. That's their right. Michigan will go blue due to RFK on ballot. I don't know, man. Like RFK being on the ballot's going to affect it very, very, very slightly. I think. I mean, RFK is telling everyone now that that they need to vote for Trump. So imagine if RFK does get like 8,000, but it's impossible to say that those 8,000 people would then vote for Trump no matter what. It's hard to really quantify that. There's been some positive Michigan polls I've seen. Destiny, yeah, dude, Destiny always goes on Piers Morgan. Who is it? Destiny, Jank. I haven't seen Andrew Tate on there as much. There's like people that go on there every day. I mean, you think they'd be able to give other people. Wait, the rabbi? The rabbi goes on there a lot. RFK is off the ballot in Michigan. Well, which is the swing state he wasn't able to get off the ballot? Because he was right. Maybe it wasn't Michigan, but it was one swing state where they forced him to remain on. Was it Wisconsin? Is the ABC whistleblower legit? Who knows? I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, it makes sense, but it does seem too good to be true. Like, there's no way that they would open themselves up to that. Wrote this song. I'm not even sure. That looks like I thought that was a cryptocurrency. Wrote this song for Trump and add the YouTube stuff at the beginning. I'm not sure. You need to send me a link, man. We're not gonna the 13 keys. Yeah, Alan did predict Kamala to win. He has a vendetta against Trump. He also predicted Biden to win, and look at what happened to Biden. There was a Piers Morgan debate today, and they were yelling so much I had to turn it off. Yeah, that's what they do. It's good for views, so they tell them to just yell constantly, just yell at each other. They like fake scream at each other on there. I mean, you send me to the link. Just put it in my Discord. Put it in my Discord, or send me it on YouTube, on X. Send it to me on. The Pac-12 conference is alive, kind of. I mean, it's basically the Mountain West plus two mediocre Pac-12 teams. The 13 keys, they're going to be the death. Yeah, the 14th key. That's a hilarious. Yeah, I heard about the Pac-12 teams, or the Pac-12 getting the four teams from the Mountain West. I mean, I think it's still the Mountain West. I mean, the makeup of the conference is Group of Five, so it's like, is it really rebuilt? I don't think so. If Kamala wins the election, how do you think the right will respond? Well, they'll be very, very angry. You need to find the clip of Biden and Harris versus Trump crowd reaction. Yeah, I actually did a video on that. I mean, I could pull it up if you want because it's saved in my likes. There's crickets. Dude, Biden looks like he just saw someone naked. These people are just not ready for prime time. This is sad.
There he is.
And then Daddy Trump comes in and just the alpha. I mean, that is an alpha moment. That is seriously an alpha moment. Honestly. Predictions on overall House and Senate. Senate, I think, will be 52 or 53. If Trump has a good night, 53-47. House Republicans will win it slightly as long as Trump wins, which I think he will. When is the last time they polled California you're talking about? Because everyone I know is Trump. Yeah, it doesn't. That doesn't mean it's gonna, it's still gonna go to Harris. I mean, it's a waste of money polling that state. There were some polls that had Harris up by 24 the last time I saw, but it was a while ago. Do you think some state flags need to be redesigned? Yeah, Minnesota's. Imagine the cheer was Waltz. He would come out there and start like dancing. He'd do a communist bow. Where do you imagine what Trump will be? Probably at his headquarters. I think that's where he's been. Or maybe at like a watch. He normally watches like backstage. And then they have like a. I mean, all campaigns have like a thing where the candidates come out. They've got a huge party there with their supporters. He'll probably. Oh, you're talking about which state? Probably Florida, but I don't know. Have you tried cat and duck soup in Springfield? I can't say I have. Yeah, that's a hit item, I heard. That's a delicacy in Springfield. Is it really possible Trump wins Ohio by 9 or 10, yet Bernie Moreno somehow doesn't win? No, it's not possible. If Trump wins Ohio by 9, Moreno will win by about 3, I'd project. Even if it's 2.5, he'd still win. He's not going to underperform. There's not going to be that much split ballot voting. He has to do the communist bow when he comes out for the VP debate. Yeah, if he breaks that out, bro, I will lose my mind. That would be better than anything that happened in the presidential debate if that happens. Do you think anyone will care about the VP debate? Not really. I mean, but I will. I mean, obviously, people that like politics will care about it, but it's not going to have the mainstream appeal. Yeah, Texas State, Arizona State is a good, low-key a good game. Mar-a-Lago fireworks show. Well, you got New York City is a little bit cold in early November. I don't know if he'd be in New York City, but I'd like him to be in New York City, honestly. Yeah, I saw that kid's father, dude. That was fucked up. That seriously was what he said. Are you a Trump Brown ticket splitter? I'm holding the Republicans back. Nah, nah. I should take a trip to Springfield. It's like 2.5 hours away from my house, I saw. What is my Discord link? Actually, just send it to me on X. Send it to me on Twitter. My Twitter link's in the description. Who you got in 2028? Vance or Vivek? Well, who wins in 2024, you know? If Trump wins in 2024, it'd be hard to... Maybe Vivek will be the VP, but it'll very likely be Vance. I mean, because Vance is also young, and he's like the new established guy now. VP debate will get half the views. I think less than that. Less than that. The Mug Club? What, Steven Crowder? I don't know. Maybe they'll uncover something. The problem is with when you have stuff like that, the media will just bury it because it's from a right wing person. So it's hard to. But I mean, they'll bury it anyways if it's negative against Harris. So I guess the more the merrier. Line for a Thursday night game was Dolphins minus 2.5. You took an alternative spread. How did you? That's a crazy bet. Bills minus 6.5 on the road. But I don't know, man. Football, it could change in the second half. Mark Robinson will lose by about 5 or 6%. Yeah, the polls are not looking good for him. But those polls tend to be less accurate than the presidential polls. It's harder to pull that sometimes. If Trump loses, Vance is done. Yeah, that's how it works. There's no, yeah, I think everyone expects Vance to beat Waltz, but they're gonna try and use the guilt trip like Vance is an asshole, and that's why he won the debate. They'll probably say stuff like that. I think I sent it to you on X. All right, I'll take a look at it, man. No, Vance is a good talker. There's no doubt about that. I don't think anyone's saying he's not. Yeah, I heard Tua was horrible tonight. Do you think Waltz will bring Kamala to his debate with Vance? No, I don't think that's how that works. I mean, I know it's probably a joke, right? But I don't think. Trump should propose tax deductions for credit card interest. Well, what happened to his no state income tax? Is he still proposing that? Or is that not possible to implement? You got in trouble for wearing an Orioles hat? What did they think it was? Some type of gang symbol or something? Ben, the Maryland guy? I haven't even seen his messages, honestly. Where is he? Are you going to give Waltz earrings to wear? Well, it is kind of funny. Does anyone know what happened with that? Was it just made up? I'm sure everyone saw the photo of Harris with the earrings, and then the side by side with the fake earrings that that you wear, you know, like that have an earpiece in them. Was she actually wearing earrings like that or no? He got in trouble for wearing an Oreo set. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the state income tax thing, the other problem is even the ones that have no state income tax, they'll just double charge you on property tax. Will Waltz cry during his debate? He might get teary eyed trying to talk something to get sympathy votes. Those earrings were very large. Are my messages going through? Yeah, Josh, I saw your message, man. The fly, yeah, because that was a boring debate with Mike Pence with the fly. I mean, that fly was around him for a long period of time. I mean, I remember Alex Jones used to say, remember about the flies with Obama and Hillary? And then Pence just gets engulfed by a fly and harassed for like an hour. I doubt Kamala had the questions in advance. I think she memorized a line for each subject. Well, you could definitely tell that first question she was ready for it. She completely diverted to talking about how she was from the middle class and is poly market well, it's not accurate. It's just a betting thing. Whoever people put money on, it goes up. Their odds go up. Dems nuked the stream yesterday. I think some of them might have reported it. It got nuked because I was reacting to a video and I guess not talking enough, basically, from what I heard or what I think happened. Because the video you can't monetize it now. Tua threw a pick six. What a mess that is. What sources are you going to use for your calls on elect? Well, I'm not going to be calling states. I'm just going to be reacting. It's really impossible for or very hard. I mean, what data would I have to be able to call states? I mean, you could say certain states are trending to Trump, but it also depends on if the mail-in vote's in or not, and there's a lot of things that go into that. That really I'm not going to have the information to be able to determine. But it wouldn't even matter anyways. Like I really don't care. To me, it's more important whether or not I call a state. Who gives a fuck? But like if the big networks call it, they're putting their reputation on the line. It's more important to if they call it. Apparently, people thought Kamala was bitchy and snooty. Well, I mean, some people probably did, but some people I'm sure didn't. You wish Trump would go on Rogan? I think that's got to happen at some point, maybe in October. Should you trade Derrick Henry for Tyreek Hill? Yes, you should, if that's an option. I do a reaction to Trump on Rogan, but it's hard to say if it's gonna. I think it'll happen because Trump's been going on all these other shows. It's got to happen. Yeah, I'll be live on election night throughout the entire thing. Do you think Kamala really owns guns? You know, if she does, they probably gave it to her like a month ago or something. She became a gun owner like a month ago because she's trying to be more relatable and appeal to more, on the independent side. So she's like, "See, I'm a gun owner. I would never do that." It's just all crap. Yeah, I saw that police situation with Tyreek Hill. Dude, the police officers were like, "Bro, we're freaking minorities. Don't do that shit." Do you play fantasy football? I normally do, not this year though. What would you do on stream if Kabbalah wins? Well, I could try and have a viral moment, or I could just, I don't know. Should I have a viral rage quit? Did you ever watch Joe Rogan on Fear Factor? I mean, I used to watch a little bit of Fear Factor. I didn't really watch it much, though. One of the scenarios, well, I did do a few different scenarios, so probably. Post election cry session. Should I start a live stream cry session? We're gonna go to camps. We're gonna be put in camps. Maybe Europe will go right wing. Well, it didn't go right wing. There were some letdown elections in Europe, but I think it's still trending right. So eventually it will be right wing, unless the trend changes. Yeah, of course, a lot of her hype is media based. She had no actual campaign. Her campaign started in the summer. I mean, there was no. You see Ivanka Trump workout video today. Hot stuff. I didn't see. I didn't see that. No. 2016 Young Turks moment. Yeah, I'm like, I got my flight ready to Moscow. Fuck this. Germany went mega right wing, bro. You know, it's the dynamics of Germany are interesting. You remember with like World War II, it seems like they've been forced to be left wing. You know what I'm saying? Because of World War II, but now they're coming back a little bit. Want to see he'll probably fake a meltdown for views. He knows Trump's gonna lose. He'll fake a meltdown. Now he'll probably actually have one. What is the worst fear? I think the worst fear is always the Middle East. I swear, if the Middle East ruins us for years, I'm gonna be so fucking pissed. I don't know. It's just something about the Middle East. It's always disabled, and if we let the Middle East start World War III, that's good. I mean, I'll be pissed no matter what. But it's like I don't think we would have. I don't think World War. Well, I don't know, man. I didn't think the Russian invasion was gonna happen either way. But I think it's some Middle East bullshit that happens, and then there's a response, and then that possibly would start it. And because now you've got Russia involved with what's going on in Ukraine, you've possibly got China involved. Is social media more right wing? Well, X is. It depends your algorithm. If you're more right wing, it's going to appear more right wing. It's tailored to what you. But X definitely with Elon Musk is going to be more right wing. But there are liberals, circle jerks on X. It's not like, I mean, go on Reddit, you'll see. I mean, how it's way worse on Reddit in terms of left wing. If Kamala loses, do you think she'll call Trump to congratulate him? I mean, I would guess unless some crazy stuff happens. I don't know. Probably. The Shannon Sharp situation. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just unfortunate for him. It's pretty funny though. Yeah, I don't know how your live gets turned on when you put a phone onto a bed, though. But I mean, I don't think he wanted to do it on purpose. Do you think if Kamala wins, there will be World War III? I mean, it's impossible to say. It depends on so many other countries and what they do and their aspirations, things like that. But I think there'll definitely be a higher chance of it happening, and I think everyone would agree with that than with if Trump was leading. Did Trump have a good rally event at Arizona? The only thing I saw from it was his new announcement with the no tax on overtime. No, Stephen Colbert is not voting for Trump. He's too bought into the white guilt. Reddit is so yeah. Reddit is next level liberal. Shannon Sharp did it on purpose because people were accusing him of being gay. I don't think he gives a shit about that, man. Build a Canada Trade Center? What do you mean, like a World Trade Center in Canada? Do you think the government will shut down if the SAVE Act doesn't pass? I mean, it looks like that's what's possibly going to happen unless there's unless the Republicans bow down, which hopefully I don't think they're going to. It's going to be an interesting showdown because it's so close to the election. It's an important thing. Luke Patterson, people are saying she called his bluff with the obvious earpieces. They said he'd be scared of demanding earpiece inspections. What about that? I mean, dude, I don't think she'd be that stupid. If they actually were going to have an earpiece, they wouldn't use such an obvious, in my opinion, situation where you could look online and find a freaking fake, the same earring with the earpiece in it being advertised. I think they're not that dumb. But who knows? I mean, you think people are overhyping Biden putting on a Trump hat? Well, if they actually think Biden was like endorsing Trump, they're way overhyping it. Yeah, I just thought it was a funny moment. Yeah, her husband's probably gonna, or that could be it as well. It's anything to try and relate to middle class. That's what she's doing. That's what they're pushing for her. It's very unlikely for Trump to lose this election. Just so many paths. Yeah, no, I know. I agree with you, but they also said that about Hillary, and Hillary did have a bunch of different paths. But no, I agree with you. I think he'll win. Yeah, I saw that comparison on TikTok. The closing statements were both posted by ABC, and Trump got triple the likes and triple the views, which is it's not nothing. I mean, what do you think of the speaker? I think any Republican speaker is going to be unpopular unless they're like pure MAGA at this point. It's just a lose lose job. We'll see what he does with this bill. This is like his big moment. David Muir over here saying no report in Springfield. Well, dude, they had that ready too. They preemptively called like the city council or something and said, "Oh, tell us that there's nothing going on so we could reference this at the debate when the big bad dummy Trump brings it up." And then they do that. It's so crap. Her wife, her husband is a Emhoff is kind of a he's just a soft dude. You can tell. Yeah, Trump had a good closing statement, but people wanted him to open with that closing statement. Do you think Trump's performance in the debate will cost him votes in Pennsylvania? I don't think so. The debates when I get it's there's something crazy has to happen at a debate for it to really have a big impact. It's just, especially with the, I mean, we've got so much more now in between the debate and the election. I don't think it's really it's gonna have a big effect. Personally, I don't think it's going to. Tua got injured. Oh God. Do you think Nate Silver has a scheme to make millions regardless? What do you mean a scheme? I mean, I think he's just a pollster. That's what he gets paid to do. You have the election at 269 to 269. Well, that would be something if that actually happened, or if it was that close. Or I'm talking. He's like, I'm speaking now. Please, please. Does that sound familiar? You had to break it out. They told him to say it when she started to interrupt, even with the mics muted. Imagine if she should have still said it, honestly. Because, well, actually, I don't think he interrupted that much. Like, tried talking over when his mic was muted. He's like, please, please. But she was trying to talk. She was trying to show that she was feisty. Oh, Tua got another concussion. That's a big problem. That's a big problem. The NFL is going to. They just can't deny the Springfield incidents as clear as day. Yeah, but the thing is, what they do is they'll deny it, then it'll be true, and then they'll just say, "Ah, who cares?" That's basically what they do in a nutshell. Oh, it's fake. You're dumbass, racist white people. It's fake. How dare you say that? Oh wait, there's reports of it being true. Ah, we don't care. Who cares? And then they try and like act like it's normal. If it's a tie, Trump wins. That is correct. Yes. Yeah, she didn't know what to do. She had like a dazed look on her face. Accusing Nate Silver is not a Republican, man. I mean, his poll is looking good right now for Trump. I will say that, or his model. I think what is it, 61%? Do I really believe Trump is winning Wisconsin? I really believe it. Yes. Tua needs to retire. Yeah, the NFL is gonna be they're gonna be on him because they know that that's a no when you get like multiple concussions. I mean, look, Denzel Ward, they were saying he needed to retire after 4 or 5 concussions. Georgia is not trending. Well, I mean, I think it's trending conservative as well. Because if Trump wins it, I mean, that's he goes back. The Nova company said Kamala Harris was not wearing their ear audio Bluetooth earrings. Trump was wearing a hearing aid because when the bullet hit his ear, it busted his. So the company actually came out and said no. Do you believe Trump was going to win Wisconsin in 2020? I'm not sure. What do you mean win it? And you're implying before they stole it, or well, I mean, was he barely lost Wisconsin by less than a point. I mean, it was very close. As a Dem-leaning person, Trump's won. He's incredibly. I know he is. He's so much more popular than Harris. Unfortunately, it's not that But if you compare like the actual enthusiasm, it's crazy the difference. Well, there's little polling data in New Mexico. You could maybe argue there's little polling data in Oregon, but I think Oregon's definitely going to Harris. There's little polling data in Virginia, although they're starting to do more polls there. Well, you probably just, I mean, there's still going to be a lot of people that vote for Trump, even in liberal states. You know, it's just who you converse, who you talk to. Yeah, we all remember waking up to that. You think Maine is going red? No. This was one district could go red, not the at-large state. Yeah, Trump being shot 100% helps him. They're trying to bury the story. That's why, because it helps him. Yeah, you're right. Georgia in 2022. I mean, Kemp always wins Georgia. He's very popular, and him and Trump made up. Will Trump win the popular vote? I think it's going to be very close. Very, very close. It's too close to say right now. I think it's going to be he's either going to win it by like 0.5 to a point, or he might barely lose it. Do you have any money on Polymarket? That's a good question. No, I don't. I don't have any money on any betting site for the election. I don't see it as a worthwhile thing because you got to wait. I mean, maybe like on election night, it would be cool, I guess, to put some money because you know it's probably going to be 50-50. It'll be basically 50-50, I'm guessing, on election night based on just the trends right now in the country and the polls. ABC rigged the debate in favor of Harris. CNN would have done the same. Well, I mean, CNN did have a debate. People are saying, well, they wanted to get Biden out, but CNN's debate, to be fair, it was very fair compared to ABC. Yeah, that Bills game's got to be a blowout at this point, from what people are telling me. Your Dark Brandon coin is dead. Yeah, my Dark MAGA coin needs to wake up. But I would imagine the Dark Brandon coin is gone. I mean, because he's not running. What was the vote difference in 2020 in Georgia? I think it was like point 0.3, honestly. 0.3%. Trump has to do better in the Atlanta suburbs. Well, now, really, all that has to happen is their vote turnout. I feel like Georgia's vote turnout was such an aberration. It's not going to be like that. As long as it's not like that in the suburbs and in the big cities, she's not going to win. He'll win by 3 or 4 points. If it's they had such a massive turnout in those big cities, that's what pushed her because that's a conservative state. The only way you can win that is jamming votes up and just getting everyone to vote in those big cities like Atlanta. Can you explain meme coins? How do you know when it's working? Well, if it goes up in price, I mean, it's the same thing. How do you know when a stock is working? Like, you mean when it's successful, it goes up. But I mean, it's based off of like presence and the amount of money the team has to invest into the coin and advertising and things like that, and also narrative and timing, things like that. Also, when you invest, what's the market cap? There's a lot that goes into it. Mr. Beat is doing a live stream with the third. Oh no, I gotta see. Wait. I don't even know if can I go to it. Would they copyright me? I feel like someone would take my stream down. I want to react to that though. That's hilarious if that's true. Mr. Beat, the liberal dude who tries to be a historian, really? The social studies teacher. Yeah, I've seen his videos. Yeah, he is a liberal, JC. You're right. No overtime tax should make Trump an extreme favorite. Yes, yes, yes. She's going to have to copy it again. She's going to have to copy it. This is great news. What's your theory on Biden putting the MAGA hat on? I feel, dude, I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I think it was just he was trying to have fun, man. Honestly. I know Republicans might be like, oh, he hates Kamala. He's just an old guy. I don't know, man. It just seemed like he was like relating to other old people and having fun. That was my take from it. Harry Sisson says Biden would have won if he was running today. Well, he sucked off Biden so bad. I mean, he literally sucked the life out of Biden. That's how hard Harry Sisson sucked Biden. So he's got to say that. Uh, yeah, Mr. Beat is a huge liberal and tries to act like, oh, I'm just the common dude and I have to be liberal because conservatives are disgusting, and that's how they do it. Tua got a concussion. That's not good news at all. Because he's dealt with several, and it's... Make a video about the Tua news? That would be the most random video I've done. Yeah, I don't think Biden was trolling the Democrats, man. I just don't think he mentally yeah, I just don't think so, man. Biden doesn't care anymore. He can do whatever. Yeah, no, they really don't care what Biden does at this point. They really don't care. You got to go to the gym. Well, get the gains in, man. You got to go to the gym. That's good. What are the odds Trump actually gets Russia-Ukraine war solved before he gets inaugurated? Well, I don't know their situation. I know that Putin and Zelensky have both talked to Trump though, but it's hard to say. I mean, the good thing is in terms of negotiation is Ukraine has some Russian territory, so they can use that in a negotiation to get it back. So that could make the negotiation easier. But it would be the problem is it's going to be a bad look for Russia if they do a deal. So my question is Trump actually able to get Russia to do a deal? Because I think Ukraine would give up the land that they took in Russia as long as they could get at least maybe a little, or I don't even know if they would get much back of the two regions that they lost. But I mean, for Russia, it would be a loss if they do a deal. So that's the question: would they really accept that, or would there have to be something else involved in it? Because Trump can say he's going to do it, and I think Trump 1000% has the right opinion compared to the Democrats, where the Democrats just want an endless fund to Ukraine. I guess I don't even know. I mean, I know the Democrats don't want to give as much money to Ukraine as they had originally given them, but there's really no opinion from the Democrats. I don't know what their opinion actually is on the situation. So they just want to keep funding Ukraine. Like they never actually say what they want to do. I guess they say they just want to keep supporting Ukraine. I think we'll know the night of the result. We should know, Sam, the night of. I would hope. You bet on Polymarket that Trump will get 287, like exactly 287 electoral votes. That's a pretty risky bet. Or you mean 287 or more? Can you explain to me the electoral college and popular vote? Popular vote is just it's just everybody is worth a single vote. The electoral college balances it so it gives different regions and parts of the United States a chance, at least a little bit, to have their voice heard. So you get liberals who say that technically in California your vote is worth less than in Montana, which is true, but that's just the way the electoral college works. The reason it's in is because if we did not have the electoral college, California and New York would be deciding our elections, and those same states vote ridiculously left wing, so badly left wing that they have to flee their own states because of how bad their policies are, and we'd have them deciding the election. It's not a good idea. Would it be a loss for Russia? It won't be a loss for Russia because what Russia wants is to, I mean, dude, prevent Ukraine from joining NATO, though. I don't know, man. They lost a shitload in terms of their military to take basically nothing. I don't know, man. I think that'd be a loss for them. It would definitely be spun as a loss, and I think it probably would be a loss. At least 287, that makes sense. Military industrial complex. Well, it's any Democrat or even Rhino Republican as well. I think you're trolling me on South Alabama 187 to 10. No way. You should rank ACC stadiums if you haven't already. Yeah, I don't think I ever have done that, but I don't know if I'll do that. I did see the mail delay issues. The people are already concerned about that affecting the mail in ballots. I mean, I don't know if it will or not. It's not good. You think Trump gets 312? Well, that's what this map is right here. You wouldn't be opposed to Trump dipping out of NATO. The only problem with that is we've got a lot of military bases in those European countries. We would have to do some type of negotiation with that. I mean, I'm sure we could keep them. With how powerful our military is, those countries really don't have a choice. They would still want us as some type of ally even if we left NATO. Yeah, the middle class, the true middle class definitely I'd say supports Trump. The elitists do support Kamala. South Alabama scored 87 points, man. That's awesome. That is awesome. What percentage of the country do you think can see through Kamala's lies? Well, a lot of it is understanding our current politics and things like that. Because Trump can lie, Kamala can lie, and they can get away with it if you don't really know what's going on. So it just depends. But I mean, both candidates lie a lot. That's why it's always weird when liberals say, well, Trump lies during the debate. Yeah, it's the same thing that Biden and Harris did. I mean, they just all blatantly lie. I mean, there's so many instances of it from both Biden and Harris. Yeah, Tulsi will get a position within the Trump administration, I would pretty much guarantee. Founding fathers having hindsight for the elector. Yeah, I know, man. You want to talk about a million IQ play? Holy shit. Mail-in voting opens the door for massive fraud. European countries agree with you. That's why many European countries have banned mail-in voting. I don't think Massachusetts will ever go red, man. That come on. Massachusetts. Imagine Massachusetts becomes a swing state out of nowhere. They scored 87 points. That's just disrespectful. What was it, Northwestern State? Scroll X for the Tua hit. Yeah, I'm sure it'll actually show up on my feed. What is this?
Started, and I love this story as a young prosecutor. Kamala Harris talked about
I mean, come on.
Courtroom for this started, and I love this story as a young prosecutor.
Prostituter?
Kamala Harris talked.
It is a misspeak. Tim Waltz. Oh yes, another one of these. Another. I gotta save this shit. Oh, I gotta save this shit for tomorrow. Yeah. Well, was this taken before the event? This might have been taken before the event. I gotta look into that. Dude, the point. Remember, dude, guys, in my thumbnail, Trump's got the badass point on a lot of the videos. That's a badass photo. The point. Trump hate display. Oh man, the tolerant left. A private farm in Alabama. That's pretty sweet. I like that. I like that. That's nice. That's a nice display. Of course, the dumbass communists got to burn it. They need to go back to starving. They almost scored 100, I know. Tulsi might be a VP candidate, I would say, probably. Yeah, copyright for a clip, right. CBS just invited Trump and Kamala for a debate. Yeah, CBS is trying to make Trump look bad. God, CBS is a joke. Mr. Beat is just talking about how smart he is. What, Lickman? Yeah, he's a clown. You should just suck off Kamala together. Trump already said he's not doing another debate. All right, guys. Yeah, that's going to do it. I said I would go to 10:30, 10:45. But that's going to do it. But I like this. I like this. I might have to talk about this tomorrow. I like this display. Texas State, unfortunately, it got burned. It's typical liberal behavior. I mean, they did want to take down the George Washington statues because they hate the United States. That's true. You used to like Mr. Beat. I mean, I never really watched him much, but it was pretty obvious he did lean to the left, which is fine. I mean, people have their opinions. Good night, guys. Yeah, it's not surprising with the chat because I've had other bad chats and then normally it just goes away. But Yeah, no problem, guys. All right, that's gonna do it. I will be dropping some videos tomorrow, I'm sure.